Hey team, I'm Dicky.
And I'm Nicky. Welcome to the Dicky Nicky Podcast, where we talk to you about all things fitness and fun as well in between. So today's podcast is all about how to reduce body fat. Yeah, and just as a little bit of an intro, guys, this podcast is just to help the everyday gym goer with fitness. Anything that they kind of have, if they want to increase the knowledge within the fitness industry. You know,
if you're ever struggling like towards your goals and you're thinking, why am I not getting there? We're going to help you get there.
We are going to help you get there because we got your back. Yeah. Yes. So, like we said, today's podcast is about reducing body fat. It's probably the biggest thing in the fitness industry right now. It's massive, right? At least 90% of the clients that I see all want to reduce body fat. Yeah. So it's quite a...
Yeah, it's rare you don't see otherwise.
Yeah.
And even someone that says they want to put on muscle, they still want to lose fat.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
But they say they want to lose... They put muscle on, but really, they just want to lose fat.
Yeah, so mainly, it's just all about reducing body fat. So today...
Man wants to be shredded, you know.
Man wants to get them ab things, you know, with a hammer and chisel.
Cheese grater.
The cheese grater abs.
Yeah, cheese grater.
Boom shakalaka. Yeah, so we're just going to talk to you about reducing body fat, what that means, how you do it, and also a few pointers along the way that we've found through our journey and things that have helped us
and clients.
And our clients. So we're just going to kick it off with a little bit about calories and what they are. Yeah?
You know, a really random thing to say as well. I'm just going to completely go off tangent.
Go on, hit me with it.
I reckon each podcast, you and me should change seats and it just send everyone under.
Yeah, so we've changed seats today because little Dicky had an incident with a band. Right, it's, to be fair, we'll laugh about it, but it is quite bad.
Yeah.
He was trying to do muscle-ups with the band. Personally, I think he's strong enough to do them without, but he needs that safety and security. I know, I get it, little Dicky. Right. However, the band snapped and actually pinged him straight in the eye. So... obviously, we have the screen light here, so you lot can see us on the camera. And little Dicky's eye just couldn't handle the big light.
Couldn't handle the big light.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, we digress. Yeah. So calories. What are calories? Calories are basically the body's currency. Yeah. Imagine your body's a bank, and the more calories you put into the bank, or the more money you put into the bank, the bigger it gets. The less you put in, the smaller it gets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that is effectively the only thing that controls your body's weight. The only thing that controls your body's mass is food in and out. Now, training can be used to help reduce body fat by burning more calories. However, only one thing controls the weight, and that is food.
Yeah, and just making sure you're in that calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Things you see so many things sugarcoating it and putting a big blanket over probably what is well, not probably, but what is the main protocol of how you're actually going to be losing fat and why you might not be currently losing fat, and it's being a calorie deficit. And people just overcomplicate things, overdo things, and go on these crazy crash diets, and then wonder why 2 minutes later, when they go back to how they used to eat, they're like, well, I'm putting all the weight back on, but when I was doing that, I was losing loads of weight. And it was like, yeah, because you're in a calorie deficit while you were doing it, and now you're not anymore. You've gone back to eating
100%.
Yeah.
So these fad diets, look, I have nothing wrong with them. At the end of the day,
they get people results, don't they?
If you're on a fad diet and it works for you, then brilliant, do it. If you're finding something that works for you, then sure, do it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and slate the keto diet or slate this diet or slate IF or anything like that. At the end of the day, if it works for you and you can maintain it, then do it.
Yeah, that's the key principle though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maintaining it.
So, yeah, the biggest issue is with most diets, there are a lot of big gyms out there that won't take on clients unless they go in a certain calorie deficit with no carbs, which is, let me tell you now, very hard to maintain.
It's horrible.
There's a certain percentage of people that can maintain it non-stop. Then people are freaks.
People are freaks.
I can't live without carbs.
When someone tells me like, oh, I'm doing a keto diet, I'm losing loads of weight, and I feel fine. I'm still strong. I'm like, you are not mentally right.
Yeah. You're a sandwich short of a picnic, mate. However, if you do it and it does work for you, then brilliant. It's like getting in the gym. You know, if you're struggling at all in the gym, always go back to your base setting. Everyone has a workout or some type of training that they enjoy doing. If you're struggling with motivation, do that exercise. It's the same with eating. If you have an eating pattern, or if you have a diet fad that you think works for you, and you're reducing body fat, as long as you're not being super unhealthy, you're not reducing your calories too much, so you go, so you have like a health issue with it, then sure, use that as your kind of go-to, but just be careful with fad diets because they are mainly quite unmanageable, and over longevity can be quite exhausting on your body.
Well, there's a reason why they work. It's because it is such a crash, isn't it? It's not you're not evolving, I suppose, in a way. Your current diet, you're literally getting rid of everything that you're currently eating and going on this insane restrictive diet. That it might get you where you want to be, and it in a fast process as well. But it's not going to do it in the way that you can sustain that, and then you can carry on. You can carry that diet on, which is why so many people crash and burn and then go back to exactly how they. It's like crashing for a holiday, and you'll be strict for this holiday, and this holiday comes, and I've been criminal for it for myself. This holiday then comes, you're probably in the best shape you've been possible. You get in the airport, you haven't even gone on holiday yet. You're smashing beers.
Get the beers in, right?
And it's like you just, and then you wake up next morning still absolutely battered from the night before. Had about 4 Chinese takeaways, and it's like, what have I just done?
Wake up on the beach with just a big bloated stomach.
It was just sodium belly.
Yeah, because you've just basically just shoved everything in your gob that you can, because as soon as you get to the airport,
it's like, well, I'm done now.
Hey, everything's a cheat meal there, right? Personally, I don't believe in cheat meals. But
no, exactly. Oh, yeah, we should touch on that.
Yeah, so personally, I don't believe in cheat meals because I believe you should be able to manage a lifestyle where you can kind of do what you want, but as long as you're being sensible. One thing that I teach all of my clients, and I've had people reduce drastic amounts of body fat within 3 months on a manageable diet, and I've had people who it's taken 6, 7, 8 months to make big changes.
Yeah. Some people just do, don't they?
Yes, yeah, so it's all about your body and how it reacts. One thing that you need to get into your head straight away is there is no overnight solution, and this is the biggest thing. I get a lot of clients come up to me and they expect to give me money, and they expect me to give them a fantastic body in return.
Little magic wand and go.
Yeah. Ba-ding. And that is impossible, right? Everything takes time, yeah? You can go and get liposuction, right? You can go and get it done. What you've not changed is your mentality. Your body is a direct reflection of your lifestyle.
Ooh, boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka. When you edit this, let's put a little ding in there when I say that, because your body is a direct reflection of your lifestyle. Sure, you've sucked a bit of body fat out your body and you look good for a couple of weeks. What you've not changed is your mentality. You're still eating a surplus of calories. You're still putting that weight back on, and within a couple of weeks, your liposuction is just going to be down the swanny. Do you know what I mean?
It's just a waste of a liposuction.
Exactly. Hang on.
And a rehab and a fixing.
Siri's gobbing off again.
Siri's
that love.
Siri's giving it big lips again.
So, when looking to reduce your body fat, something that you really need to bear in mind is calories in versus calories out. Yeah, this is
get
your notepad and pen out, right? Get your notes out on your phone and write this into them. Yeah,
speaking the most.
Calories in versus calories out.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Good. Right. So it's calories in versus calories out. Yeah. How important is that?
Oh, it's mega. It's the only really thing that people need to think about. And again, it's all that sugarcoating and hiding over what is the true solution. And you've got to think of it. People all say bad calories, good calories, bad fats, good fats, bad carbs, good carbs. And in reality, everything's still the same. Our body doesn't know, even when we go to like sugar, our body doesn't necessarily know the difference between what type of sugar you're eating. Just eat the sugar. Yeah. And then it's like you break it down for calories. A calorie is a unit of energy. So all you're doing is consuming a unit of energy. When you then burn and train or move and sleep and eat, you're then burning a unit of calorie. So all then that adds to is, as you said, those calories in, which is a calorie out, and it's just an energy balance. And focusing so much on a unit is the equivalent of a unit consuming is the equivalent of a unit to burn off. However, obviously, burning off a same amount of calories to eating is a lot harder. Like, it's very easy to eat a digestive, but to burn off 75 calories is a bit of a graft.
It is, yeah. No, it is. If you think about getting on the air bike,
yeah. If you
think about getting on the air bike and doing a 75 calorie sprint
as fast as possible, you would die.
You would get off here in shit state.
Yeah, right? You'd be all over the place.
Please, anyone listening to this, go into the gym and bang out 10 calories as fast as you can on an air bike.
Yeah, you'll
get off
gassed.
it. Get off it and tell me how you feel.
Yeah.
Now, just to simplify it, calories in is how much food you put into your body.
Yeah.
Calories out is how much you burn. Yeah. So if calories in is high and calories burnt is low, i.e. you're eating too much and you're not moving enough, yeah, you are going to put on body fat. Yeah. Now, if you're on a fad diet, yeah, right, and you're putting in less than you're burning, you smash in the gym 5 times a week, yeah, and you're not putting enough calories into the machine to feed it, guess what you're going to do? You're going to reduce body fat. But also, one thing to bear in mind, when you do drastically reduce your body fat that fast, you're also going to lose a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah, there's definitely this buffer zone you have to think about where you can't go too far with it.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, it's when you go back to all these diets and crazy things, is they go on such an insane deficit and mega deficit for what people should be really having to sustain it. They are losing body fat, but yeah, they're losing muscle as well. And that's what you've got to do, is you've got to make sure. Why would you want to lose muscle? No one wants to lose muscle at the same time.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You've got to make sure you're losing things in the right amount, and there definitely is that sort of that level that you've got to not go over. Otherwise, you're putting yourself in a hole that you're really going to have to dig yourself out of at one point.
It's hard. I've done it. I've tried certain fad diets.
Yeah.
We will talk about it a little bit later on in today's podcast. But Alex has done the vegan diet. He's going to talk to you about his kind of experience with that. I've done keto. I've done IF.
I've done keto.
Yeah,
I've done IF.
I've done IF.
Personally,
Personally, I actually quite enjoy doing IF.
I would agree with it.
Yeah,
because.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry, go on.
So with IF isn't cutting your calories down. IF is about reducing the amount of hours per day you eat. So say I need 2,800, 3,000 calories per day to maintain my body weight, right? All I would do is I would eat from 12 till 8, and I would eat those 3,000 calories in that eating window. Then I wouldn't eat anything from 8 till 12 the next day. Now, the only things that you can eat or can consume are water and black coffee, because they're the only two things.
So that's the only thing we need anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I basically run on black coffee. I never actually liked black coffee until I started doing IF, and now I just become.
You know what?
Taste.
I genuinely think that was the same as me.
Yeah.
When I started doing intermittent fasting for I was as much as you. It was for me. I use it as a tool to literally just make sure I'm not eating as much. So when I'm trying to lose weight and I'm trying to, I haven't done it for so long, but when I was really trying to lose some body fat, I would do it for the pure fact I was just having the less meals. Yeah. So I wasn't eating as much. So in the morning, I wouldn't start my hunger levels, and I wouldn't start then, because if I find if I have a meal first thing in the morning, when I wake up, I'll be hungry again then soon. Whereas if I then don't eat, I just delay in the hunger.
Yeah, you feel like you suppress it a little bit more.
And black coffee, it was because I was like, if I don't have a black coffee, then I'm breaking that intermittent fast. So it's like,
yeah. And I also picked up a great joke. So I like my coffee like I like my men, dark, strong, and keep me up all night. But my reasons for IF are a little bit different. I just wanted to try the diet, and when I got onto it, I actually really enjoyed it. So personally, I just felt like I had more energy when I was doing IF, and B, from what I read and from what I watched online and from following a few people's journeys through IF, what happens is digestion is one of the biggest things that happens within your body, and when your body's not digesting food, what it then starts to do is it then starts to heal. the rest of the body. Also, your natural growth hormone comes through and starts helping your body heal and grow even further. I've always trained on a fasted state. People say to me when I first start training them, should I eat before a gym session? And I just say to them, how does it make you feel if you do? How does it make you feel if you don't? What do you prefer? Because
I think that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Is people want an answer, and it's like, but just try it for yourself, and just whatever you prefer, and whatever, as you said, like, how do you feel on it? If you don't like training on a full diet, on a full diet, don't do it. But
don't train on a full diet. Yeah, you'll be sick. You bloody silly Billy. So guys, body fat reduction comes down to one thing and one thing only. No matter what you hear anywhere else, it can only be through calories in versus calories out.
Something I wanted to touch on, actually, because you reminded me.
Hit me with your rhythm
stick. I will.
Okay.
A couple of the big things, obviously, I hear so many people talking about it, is how breakfast is the most important meal of the day because it starts your metabolism. And then you've got no carbs after 6.
Yeah. And
I think those two are probably paired with, I'm obviously like training wise and some questions. I do hear those questions a lot from people on Instagram or it's amazing how I think I'm a bit naive to it now, that I feel because we're in the industry and we hear so much of how like it's just rubbish. I think I'm naive to them when people question me about it, and I can't believe that people still think,
because you expect them to already know it because you know it. Yeah.
I get like the whole carbs after 6 thing. When someone starts telling me about like their way of eating, and then they're like, and I don't have any like carbs after like in the evening, and I try and like just not have too many meals in the evening. I'm like, the what? Like for me, I've already processed it. That's a thing in the past, and it's gone. And so many people still, I feel, are doing that.
Yeah.
But me personally, I probably have majority of my food in the evening. I come home, and that's when I allow myself to probably have majority of my calories, because I've saved that throughout the day, and that includes however many carbs I feel.
But you know why that is? Because that's how you prefer to do it. That's
of
how.
Course.
So just this here is brilliant, because it all comes down to one thing. You have an amount of calories that you need in a day, right? It's in versus out, yeah? Right? Alex likes to smash all of his in an evening, yeah? Me, I like balance when I'm dieting, yeah? Or when I'm cutting weight. I won't say I'm doing it right now because I don't, yeah? But when I am dieting, or if I'm looking to reduce body fat, I have solid, like even meals throughout the day.
Yeah.
From breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then maybe a snack or a protein shake in between. I generally keep everything level. I just find it easier to maintain that way.
So to be fair, on an average day, like my average, I'd keep it level. But when I'm reducing my calories, I 100% just restrict, because I almost then. That's what I mean. I intermittent fast, but I don't really intermittent fast for what it is. I like for how you were doing it. I intermittent fast because I delay morning eating, and then I just cram all my calories for the evening. But I don't really do it and see it as I'm doing IF, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do it just to help me stay in a deficit.
But that helps you, and you're getting enough nutrients into your body that you're not absolutely starving, but you on enough of a deficit to notice a change in your body. Now, I teach all of my clients, it's all about maintaining that lifestyle, and that's what's important. I'll talk about it a little bit later on, but when I was cutting weight, I was still going out drinking with friends, every couple of weeks on the Saturdays. I was still going out for meals once a week with friends. I was just sensible about what I was doing, and that's it. And really, all you've got to worry about is calories in versus calories out. Yeah? Because that is the only thing that will reduce body fat. We can talk about nutrients in food. We can talk about macronutrients, micronutrients. We can talk about how much vitamin D you need. We can talk about B12. We can go into all those things if we want, but we don't want to. This podcast today is only about how to reduce body fat, and the only way to reduce body fat is to put yourself in a calorie deficit. Yeah. Food in versus food out. So then we come on to TDEE, which is
your total daily energy expenditure. which is you got to think about. It's the whole thing. So we're gonna explain it. We're gonna break it all down, but it's your total calories in. It's your total calories out, and then we're gonna break down actually what everything means and put into perspective actually what you really need to be thinking about.
Yes, no, I was letting you talk, mate. I was just listening to you. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. So TDE, right? Your total daily calorie expenditure is. That is one way to explain calories.
That's calories out.
That's calories out right there. Right. Gay face. Oh, right. I know where I am. So it's your TDEE is how many calories you burn a day in total, and it's broken up into 4 groups. Yeah. So you got your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, and that is what you need to survive. So it's for your body to operate your
it's
breathing.
It's the equivalent
your
of
heart
literally
ticking,
sleeping. It's literally the equivalent of you lying in bed all day and doing nothing, not eating, not moving, not doing anything, just literally lying there like a pack of spuds, and that's your BMR.
Yeah. So that's all it is.
Which is made up of 70% of your TDEE. So you got to think about that as the biggest and by a long way component of your total calories that you're going to be putting out on a daily basis is purely just to how much
just your body operated.
But that can change depending on, obviously, the main component is your body weight. So the naturally heavier male, female, whatever you might be, is going to have a higher BMR because their body has to pump more blood around. It's got to basically use more of its own energy to survive than someone who is necessarily maybe a smaller, lighter person.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah. And then we go on to NEAT. Alex, acronym for NEAT.
So it's your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Basically, what you got to think.
I always forget thermogenesis.
Yeah. It took me so long to be able to get that word. I used to go thermogenesis. It's your steps on a daily basis. So it's your movement without being exercise. So you wouldn't include your NEAT going for a walk, because if you're going for a walk, you're doing exercise. That's sort of like a
outside
a
of
planned,
your
routine. That's a planned form of burning calories in a way. Whereas taking the stairs instead of the lift, walking to the shops, walking to work, being active, those are NEAT calories, because you're not doing a prescribed, or you're not going out of your way to perform a sort of exercise dependent energy expenditure. You're literally, it's just you just on your everyday basis, you just burning more calories just from adapting to your environment.
So basically NEAT isn't exercise, it's just the calories that you burn or the energy that you expend just moving around on a daily basis, going to work, coming back from work, cooking your food, sitting down watching TV. Yeah. So getting out of your apartment, going to work, coming back to your apartment, that is your NEAT. Yeah. And how much is that as a percentage?
15%. And
that's 15%. So BMR is 70%. Your NEAT is 15%. Next we go on to...
And then we've got your TEF.
TEF, yeah.
Which is your thermic effect of feeding.
Yeah.
So therefore it's your body's... the calories your body burns through digestion. Okay. So yeah, it's as simple as that really. It's obviously the more you eat, the more your body's going to be obviously trying to digest to burn, but it doesn't necessarily work out.
However, the more you eat, the more calories you need to burn. So just be careful with that one.
Yeah, there's a big sort of.
Don't be sitting there, Pizza Hut, smashing loads of food, saying, "Yeah, well, Dicky Nicky said if I eat loads, then I'm going to burn more."
Just be eating it. These are TEF calories. It's fine.
Yeah, man. I'm just smashing some TEF calories down the range.
So they add up to 10%, which obviously now leaves us with 5%, which is then your EAT, which is your exercise, activity, thermogenesis. So that is training. That is going for a run, going for a walk, going on a bike ride. Like, that's, I think, obviously this is for the average person. That's these kind of percentages and things that you've got this from. But that's, I think, the most astonishing thing that people don't get their head around enough, is that they focus so much on going to the gym as the way that they're going to lose weight. And it's why, for us, especially, like, you hear it a lot from teaching classes at obviously Pure Gym, a big commercial gym. You've got a big footfall. There's loads of people always coming. A lot of the questions from people who do classes are, I've been doing classes now for X amount of time. I'm still not losing weight because why am I not losing weight? And it's like, yeah, but you're coming to the gym and you're only now burning off 5% of your daily calories. What are you then doing outside of the gym? And I think not enough people get that around their heads and adapt to the fact that you don't have to go to the gym to lose weight. Going to the gym isn't the way that you lose weight.
It makes you fit and healthy,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It makes your heart strong, heart, lungs, muscles stronger.
You're improving your body.
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, when I read that, I thought that was amazing. Obviously, it's going to vary from person to person. Some people will work out more than others, and they will, burn maybe a few percentage more calories. But if you think about it, if you go to a class, one of those Pure Gym classes, what are you going to burn in a 30-minute session? Maybe anywhere, depending on how hard you work, between 200 to 400 calories.
Yeah.
If that.
If you're lucky. Yeah.
If that. Some people, looking to reduce body fat might need to be on, how many calories. It's just not. It's crazy to hear that. But also, it reaffirms our point that if you want to reduce body fat, you need to look at your calories in versus your calories out, because that's what it all comes down to.
I think a good thing from there is why I tell so many of my not just clients, just people that just ask me questions on Instagram and whatever. The main thing I tell them now to focus on is just get moving. Just get your steps in. Not enough people still get their steps in. It's one of the biggest things I turn to when someone starts stalling or someone starts hitting a bit of a plateau. I'll go, right, what's our average step saying? And it will be like 6,000. And I'll be like, right, well, let's bump that up to at least 10, at least 12, 13. And what happens? They start losing weight again, because you've offset this energy balance by just increasing your steps, which adds up to so much more of the calories than telling them, okay, well, I want you to put another session in. But it'd be better off just telling them to get an extra 4,000 steps per day than just having a session added on through the week.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's the same with, like, when someone says, oh, how can I lose weight around my midsection, as that's obviously where most people hold their fat. And it's like, well, you can't do anything. You can't sit there and sit on a bloody ab cruncher and that's going to lose fat on your abs. You've got to obviously be in a calorie deficit, and you've got to be patient. You've got to wait for your body to just lose the fat. More often than not, the places we're most self-conscious about and the places we want to lose the most amount of fat is where our body holds the most amount of fat. So therefore, it takes the longest amount of time for that fat to come off.
That is so true. So I had this on my Instagram story the other day. I put a question and answer thing up, and one of the questions was, how do I lose the chub on my hips? And there is no specific way exercise or magic beans that you can take that will lose that chub on your hip. What you have to do is you have to reduce your overall body fat, and eventually that will go. Yeah. It will go down. It's the only way to do it. Now, we all understand that reducing body fat is hard. And it's hard because it takes consistency and time. People want quick results. No one's willing to sit and wait for the body fat to be reduced, so they get impatient and then they start going out on the smash again, putting pizzas down like there's no tomorrow.
They're tough calories.
Tough calories. However, I'm not telling you can't go out and enjoy a pizza. I'm not telling you can't go out on the smash and enjoy that. You just need to be more sensible. So what we're going to go on to next...
That brings us on to our next point, doesn't it? That's good.
Which brings us on to our next point, which is your weekly spend.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you a few tips on how to help you reduce your calories and for you to manage with a little.
Yeah, just to simplify it.
I got a little bit tongue tied then. and a better way for you to manage your calories. Yeah. So a weekly spend. So for example, say if I had a client come to me, and this client needed 2,000 calories per day to reduce their body fat. That would then put them in a deficit. What we would look at is their week in total, so 7 days. Don't think that if you went over your calories on a day that you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're not going to put on body fat just by going over your calories in a day, because you can offset it to another day. So if you was to get on the smash this weekend and you had 2,000 calories per day, to spend, what you could then do is offload, say maybe cut your calories down, to 1,800 per day. Yeah, save those extra 200 calories, from Monday to Friday, put them on the Saturday, which then leaves you 3,000 calories. Now, when you're out drinking, the biggest killer really is beer. Beer and wine. Beer and wine. What is there? Somewhere like from 250.
Oh, in a pint, you're easily going to be over 200.
Yeah, so 250 to 350 calories per pint, depending on what type of pint it is.
Especially if you're smashing Guinness in.
Yeah, a glass of wine, just as much. Yeah. So wine and beer are two of the worst things that you can take on. What is advised is things like vodka, spirits, and any diet mixer.
Yeah.
The mixer has no calories in it. Yeah. I think a shot of vodka is like 80 calories.
I always think anyway, take alcohol away. What's the point in drinking calories? Unless you're like, if you're trying so hard to reduce calories and you really struggle to reduce your calories, stop drinking them.
Yeah, makes sense. What about if things taste good?
Well, you've got yourself a trouble.
Yeah, look, we're not telling you how you should live your life. We're not by any means telling you, right, you need to do this, you need to do that. All we're saying is, if you want to reduce your body fat, we're just telling you how the best way to do it is. And effective ways to reduce your body fat.
Yeah, and how to do it in a flexible way.
Yeah, exactly. You show them sledgehammer abs. You get me. So weekly spend is very important. Calories in and out. Yeah, weekly spend. So you need to be. Don't beat yourself up too much if you go over your calories one day. Just think you've got other days to make it up.
I did this exact thing with an online client this week when I checked in with him. He said he was always just feeling like he was just tipping over the edge on the weekend. So I literally then, my next protocol was, I said to him, right, well, what I want you now to do is Monday to Friday. I think what I said was, Monday to Friday I want you to aim for 1,900, which for a like 80 kilo male, that's not very much. That's quite low calories. And then I told him, you've now got 3,300 calories Saturday and Sunday to play with.
Boom shakalaka.
6,600 calories to play with in 2 days. And he was like, wow, that sounds amazing.
That's 10 gins. That's 10 gins and a kebab. And for me, it's probably 2 or 3.
because the kebabs eat, so that would just burn off straight away.
Exactly. Remember, is it TEF?
Oh, TEF, sorry. TEF.
Yeah. It's them TEF calories, that you're going to burn. Yeah, for me, it's easily maybe 2 or 3 kebabs. Anyone that knows me well. I'm like a dustbin. Yeah. For me, when I'm dieting, I do struggle. Alex and I actually spoke about this in the car before we come and did this podcast. So Alex and I have very different body types. Alex struggles to put weight on, and I struggle to reduce body fat, purely because I have a bigger structure, whereas Alex has a slimmer structure, so the way that we would approach diets is very different. So everyone listening to this podcast will be different, but what you have to remember is there's only one way to reduce body fat.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is to put yourself in a calorie deficit.
You'll hear people say, "Oh, well, this type of person has to do this, and this type." No, they don't.
No, you don't.
They still just need. Everyone still needs to be in a calorie deficit.
The only difference between Alex and I is the rate at which we'll reduce body fat.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the only difference. The only difference is the rate that we will reduce body fat at. But effectively, if we're both in a calorie deficit, we're both going to reduce body fat.
Yeah, exactly.
or Alex may have a higher calorie count for his deficit. So Alex and I are maybe 10, 15 kilos heavier than you.
Well, what do you weigh?
I'm 94.
You're so 50, yeah. I'm 80.
I'm 94 kilos. Alex is 80. We might have the same calorie count for a deficit, whereas I got 15 kilos on him just because he's got a higher metabolic rate, or because he burns faster, burns calories faster. So just remember, when it comes to your calories, don't beat yourself up about it. Yeah. It's all about being in a calorie deficit. Think about calories in versus calories out. Think about the 4 main ways that you burn calories, which is through your basal metabolic rate, your NEAT,
Your TEF,
and your eat. So your NEAT is basically just you moving around during a day without going outside of your regular routine to do any exercise. Your TEF is your burning calories while digesting, and your eat is your gym routines, and what you actually go to the gym to burn. So when we're looking at diets, one big thing that Alex and I agree on massively is not removing your favourite foods. Keeping little snacks in there, keeping your favourite foods in there, and having treats and stuff like that during the day. You don't want a diet to feel like you're dieting. You need to make it as easy as possible for you, physically and mentally.
I'm a big believer in that. Like, when I'm really being strict, I will still always make sure that I still have something that satisfies my cravings. 100%. I will never spend a day where I then haven't satisfied a craving, because by not satisfying a craving, all you're doing is setting yourself up to a crash. Whereas if you just give yourself a little bit, and that's when it then boils down to having a strong willpower and having the right mindset to not go mental. And I've been on the level of minstrels was my thing I used to have all the time. So what I used to do was I used to weigh out minstrels. Like, I've been on that side where it's like I was taking the piss, really. Like, that is too far. It's just too much. But I've been, and that's. But when it boils,
one minstrel too many.
Honestly, I'd weigh out. I'd have 4 minstrels, and I'd go, well, that's my calories done.
I would have no hope in hell.
But that's what I mean.
It's trying that. Me and Katie don't even keep chocolate and crisps in the cupboard, because if we do, either one of us just going to violently attack that cupboard.
So me and Sarah have got treats in our cupboard, because then what we'll do is we'll have like a little bit of chocolate at the end of the night.
Not a chance. If I know there's treats in that cupboard, I'm going in there head first and I'm violently attacking it. This all comes down to how you are as a person. Everybody's different. Alex has the restraint. I don't have the restraint. I don't keep things like that in my house, because if I do, they vanish, and they vanish real quick. Right? I can't pour 4 minstrels into a container and say, that's my calories for the day. I can't do it.
No, I don't think that's too far. I think that's the unhealthy balance you get, where you're like, you don't need to be going on a bodybuilding prep to lose weight. And I was treating being in a deficit, and I was so serious with it when back then.
I've been through that phase though. I have been very, very, very serious.
I was 100% like addicted to burning calories. I used to say, me and my best mate used to laugh about being addicted to calories, but now when I think about it, I'm like, that is nuts.
Getting on the scales every day. I've done it as well. Getting on the scales every day, making sure I've lost a little bit of body fat. Do you know what I mean? Making sure I've brought it down. I've been addicted to it. And the big thing about scales, I just want to say this now. Scales will only tell you what your body is as a mass, It'll tell you how heavy your body fat is, how heavy your bones are, how heavy your muscles are. A scale will only tell you what your body is as a whole. I have a particular client. She only lost 1 kilo, right, in 3 months of training with me. 1 kilo. Yet the change in her body, was absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, night and day, massive difference. Yet she only lost 1 kilo. The amount of muscle and strength that she put on, she didn't turn into a meathead by any means, right? So she didn't turn into the Hulk, right? But the change in her body composition was so massive, it was unreal. Yet she only lost 1 kilo. Now, a lot of people will stand on the scales and they will beat themselves up because the scales aren't going down. But if you've got yourself into a good gym routine, if you've started your diet, inevitably your weight will start to drop. It has to. If you're reducing body fat, it has to drop.
Yeah.
But if you don't make a big change immediately, think about the things that you're doing. If you're reigniting those muscles, if you're putting muscle mass back on, if you're playing with that muscle memory, your scales might not drop as drastically as you expect them to. Yeah. So just don't rely on scales to tell the story.
Yeah.
The biggest two.
Don't let it dictate your motivation.
Yes, don't let it dictate your motivation. Don't get addicted to them. The two biggest things that you need to look at, for me, are the mirror and your clothes. Right? If you look at the mirror, right, and what you see looking back has made a change in any way, take that as a positive. Take that away from it and say, yeah. Do you know what? I can see a little bit of this here. I can see a little bit of that. I can see a little bit of definition in my arms. I can see, a little bit of, take every positive away from it. Yeah, because that positive mindset will then spur you on to do more. Your clothes, yeah. If you was a size whatever, a few weeks ago when you put your clothes on, and then all of a sudden, the belt loop's a little. You've gone down a belt loop. Yeah, you've gone down a belt loop, or you've got to chuck your wardrobe out and buy a new set of jeans. Then there's more positives to take away from it.
And the scale might not have changed. The scale could say the exactly same thing.
I read that generally they say that 4 weeks of any program, you start to notice it. 8 weeks, friends and family notice it. 12 weeks, and the world notices it. That's the kind of timeline you're looking at. If you're reducing your body fat in a healthy and sane way, yeah. On a fad diet, I have no doubt that you could probably reduce your body fat so that everyone notices within 4 weeks, but it's not healthy. And the second you start, what people do is they do these fad diets, they lose loads of body weight, they're like, yeah, I'm skinny again. Then they go out on the smash, they eat loads of pizzas, and then they put all the weight back on within a week. because you're literally just spiking like that.
Yeah, 100%.
So maintaining a steady loss then teaches you, keeping a steady loss then teaches you how to maintain that weight that you sat at. Which is obviously, if you hear what I just said, is the smartest way to do it. No,
exactly. Yeah. Then you got on the flip of it though. I want you to talk about your bulking story and your. Yeah,
so I went through a bit of a bulk, right? And I don't know. It started off as a clean bulk for about 2 weeks, and then next thing I know, I'm knee deep in McDonald's wrappers and pizza boxes. I was smashing anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day. I was eating Mackies for breakfast, lunch, dinner. I said I'm going to go on a bulk, and I saw it as open season. Now with me, I can eat and eat and eat and eat, and I never get fed up of eating. Lots of people think that they can eat a lot, but I really can eat a lot. I'm talking about clearing tables. I could eat enough food to feed a small army. Yeah. Chinese buffets would fear me. Yeah. Going in to the Chinese buffet, because I would clear plates. I've got 3 brothers. They're just as big as it is as me. We once went in to a Chinese buffet in Warsaw, the hometown where I'm from, right? They couldn't fill the chicken curry and the fried rice up fast enough for what we were eating. My youngest brother is 6'5", 6'6", and he's about 22, 23 stone. His wrists are bigger than my ankles. This kid doesn't use a spoon. He's got a ladle. Right? So I got really involved with this bulk, and I thought, right, yeah, I set out what I was going to do. I lost my way very quickly, but I got excited because I can eat what I want.
Yeah.
I was training hard, and I mean really hard. I was training 5-6 times a week, and I was pushing heavy weights. I was squatting 180 kilos. I was bench pressing 130, for 3 sets of 8. I was comfortable with it. I was the strongest I've ever been. But I put on a lot of body fat. Now, when you look to bulk, you look to put some body fat on. It's
going to happen.
It's a part and parcel of it. But what you shouldn't do is put on too much body fat. If you're eating clean foods, yeah, and you're staying just above that level of staying in that surplus, but just above it. It's kind of the exact opposite of being on a fad diet and reducing your calories too fast.
Yeah.
I increased my calories too fast.
Yeah.
I went from 0 to 60, or 0 to 6,000 calories, And
What you do is you just make your job harder when you then want to lose your weight.
Exactly. And there come a point where I think it was about Christmas time. No, I think it was about January time. And I got a lot of stick off friends and stuff like that saying, bloody hell, Nick, you've packed on a bit of weight. Got the point where the buttons on my shirt had reached maximum duress and they were under serious duress, right? I was still trying to fit into my old clothes, lying to myself. Yeah. Why can't I breathe? Why did my button just pop off and ping that waiter in the eye? Do you know what I mean? Questions that you occasionally ask yourself. And
I had it once, talking of something like that. I genuinely had it once at uni when I was my fattest state, when I actually did put on some timber.
Because I've seen pictures of you when you was in uni, and you was kind of skinny fat, right?
Yeah, I had a belly, I had a big face.
Yeah.
And I remember sat there doing work once in the library, and I sneezed and my belt broke.
Oh.
I literally just went, and my belt buckle blew off, and I was like, "It's time. I need to lose weight."
Well, my turning point was a little bit different. I'd had a bit of stick off my pals, and for me, if anyone who knows me, it doesn't bother me. You can laugh at me all you want. Like I have to see it myself, and I sat down on the toilet early morning, and I sat down, and my belly come over, and I couldn't see my willy anymore. Right, and I'm not joking. I thought, Nick, what are you doing, mate? Right, I sat there and had what's that moment that alcoholics call it, that changing point in life? No. Oh, flipping heck! I bloody forgot what it's called now.
Flipping topic, brother.
No. It's not an epiphany, is it? It's something else. Anyway, I had one of those magic moments, and I looked down and I thought, right, I need to reduce this. I need to do something about this, and I went on a 5-month cut, just like Alex just said. I was mega strict with everything. Bear in mind, I went from 90 kilos to 110 kilos, right? In the space of, I think, about 2.5 months.
What?
Right? Yeah, I swear to God, yeah. In the space of about 2.5, 3 months, I went up to 110 kilos. Saw that it wasn't working for me. Saw that I was doing it wrong, and I thought, right, time to reduce. Yeah, time to come down and get little Nicky back. Yeah,
Little Nicky.
Don't start. Big Nicky, little Dicky. Remember that?
No, that's not what I just heard.
Oh no. No. Right. Let me carry on with my story, please,
right,
mate.
yes.
Stop interrupting me, please. Right. God.
Little
Nicky. Such a little blighter, aren't you? And so I went on a cut. But I went extreme again in the other way, kind of the same way Alex was, measuring things. I wasn't eating treats. I wasn't having little snacks. I was 110 kilos, and I was on 1,800 calories a day. Right now, I was still going out for meals with friends once a week. I was still going out on meals with friends once a fortnight, going out on the smash once a fortnight, because they were my treats. What I didn't realise at the time is that I was reducing my body fat that much during the week that I could have done what I flipping wanted on them fortnights. Do you know what I mean? On them nights out, I probably had about 10,000 calories in surplus, right? To go mental with, and I probably did think I spent that 10,000 calories on them night outs.
I spent that.
Yeah. But again, on nights out, I was still drinking diet drinks, and what I used to do. Right, I love spice. I love spicy food. I love spicy things. To suppress my appetite, I was eating raw chilies.
Oh, you've told me about this.
Yeah, so I sat at my desk and people would walk past and they're like, Nick, are you eating a bag of chilies? And I'd literally sit there with a bag of green chilies from Tesco's, right, eating them like a packet of crisps, right? Because I'd eat them chilies and it would just suppress my appetite, and I wouldn't feel hungry after it because my mouth was on flipping fire. Yeah, and that's pretty much how I did it. And I went from 110 kilos down to 85 in 5 months.
Woo! That's a lot. That's so.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you now, there are times when I was laying in bed thinking, I'm so fucking hungry, like I am, and I could feel my stomach burning. And I know what people are going through when they do that, because I have done it, man. And it's not cool. You do not need to drastically reduce your calories. No. You do not need to put yourself on any... In a hole. You don't need to put yourself in a hole. I've been there. It's not nice.
No.
It's not nice at all. So obviously you did Veganuary. How did you find that?
Yeah, so obviously I'm thankfully like sponsored by Bulk Powders. And they in just like December.
Hashtag bulk powders.
Hashtag Team Bulk, actually.
Hashtag Team Bulk.
Hashtag Be More Do More.
If you didn't see that, guys, for you listening on the podcast, I just held my hands up in a hashtag sign, because I've run out of hashtags to say. I just panicked.
You could have gone hashtag performance delivered.
Yeah. Hashtag build a bit of you.
Oh, slip that one in. Yeah.
Plug.
Right, so in December, Bulk Powder sent out a big thing to all the ambassadors saying who would want to do Veganuary, obviously going vegan for January.
Is that what Veganuary means? Oh, okay.
Oh, did you get that? Did you not realise that?
Vegans in January.
Yeah. You know what Bull said to me the other day?
Go on.
He said you did Veganuary. Now you've gone Blinderary. He was like, what are you going to do in March?
Blinderary.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so they sent out a big email. I hate saying no to things. It's a good quality, it's a bad quality.
It's a good experience as well.
I just don't like letting people down, basically. So I didn't want to write out an email saying no. So I took on the challenge. Obviously, I am a big meat eater. Like all over it. I never really care if it's plant-based, if it's not. Like, I will eat that steak and I will enjoy that steak. And the steak could be mooing on the plate and I will still enjoy it. So going vegan was immense. Like, it was hard. It was January seemed like a really long month as it is. So that was hard enough. But the worst thing about it was, as we were just talking about, I'm restricting instead of removing. I obviously removed completely all these amazing foods that I was used to, and all these things that I enjoy eating and how I get to my goals and what my body is used to and what my body performs best at. So all of a sudden I was completely rid of that and eating a completely new and different diet, which it was great. It was eye-opening. I learned a lot in terms of performance-wise. I didn't really see any differences that I thought I was going to. However, I have touched on this in on Instagram and social media and things, and the reason I think for that is that when you already supply your body with probably a good amount of nutrients and minerals and what it needs, to then go vegan, it probably doesn't really see much difference. And if anything, you're now not giving it certain things it was used to. However, the average human being who eats not that well then goes vegan. No wonder they feel amazing and their performance increases, their strength increases, their sleep increases. And it's like, yeah, because now you're actually giving your body some good food. Whereas if you already do, I don't really see the benefits that people say there will be. In terms of then like a weight loss and things, I did lose weight over the month, but again, it just boiled back to the point because I was eating less. It wasn't because I was vegan.
How much did you lose in total?
It was it £9?
No, so you lost about 4.5 kilo, about 4 kilos. So you lost 4 kilos in a month, which is...
That's a good return, so that's sustainable.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, within linear weight loss, I'll try and get my clients to lose between 3 and 4 kilos a month.
But that was, to be honest, because I wanted to clean up a little bit because of Christmas, December, just going mental. I wanted to restrict myself a little bit and did just have a bit of a stricter January. So I've restricted my calories as it was. Going vegan wasn't the reason that I then lost the weight. It was because I was then now in a calorie deficit that wasn't in Christmas.
Which is what it all comes back down to.
Which it all comes back to.
Calories in versus calories out.
and also with being vegan as well, I struggled to get calories in, and I struggled. The hardest bit for me was protein. I really was lacking and falling behind.
How did you find your strength in the gym? How did you find it affected your kind of muscle growth? Did you notice any difference in terms of muscle content that you got already?
No, I did definitely feel leaner, obviously, because I lost the weight. So like I did
That's
feel
a reduction in body fat, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did notice that. I don't think my muscle really changed at all. According to like they're very basic scales, but according to my scales I've got at home, my muscle percentage was still the same, whereas my body fat did come down 2% or something. So my weight was purely body fat and not muscle, like anything to do with my muscle.
Makes sense.
In terms of strength, I noticed actually a big dip initially. So 2 weeks in, I was really struggling, and I wasn't even able to hit the numbers I previously was the month before. I was even struggling to get even close to it and hitting the same reps, and it was really frustrating. And it was almost having then a negative effect. But I boiled that back to the fact that all of a sudden I wasn't eating as much and I wasn't having as much protein as before.
Over December though, did you train?
Oh yeah,
as much. Okay,
yeah.
So it's not like you took a week off or a couple of weeks off in December and then went back to the gym.
I went
so
away.
So you was training consistently.
I had like
started Veganuary
8 days off training.
And okay, and was that?
But that was middle of December.
Okay, so that wasn't even prior to you starting Veganuary.
No.
So it was literally within those first 2 weeks of Veganuary, you actually had the dip.
I had the dip.
Nothing to do with like a
no. So as in 2 weeks prior,
Yeah.
that same workout that I had programmed, I was struggling to be able to perform as well as in it as I was when I was then vegan. Which to me, like, that's just proof in the pudding. But then, as I did find, probably because I got more used to vegan calories and where I needed to get my calories in, I did notice my strength start normalizing again. I didn't hit PBs or anything. I didn't go higher than where I was before, but I probably got to a point where then it was back to where it was.
Yeah. Just plateaued again.
Yeah, basically. But I didn't. I just kind of dipped and then came back up.
Okay, yeah. So you was on the incline.
I was on the incline.
Yeah.
But that was my little vegan experiment, and I will not be doing it again.
I don't really know enough about veganism. I don't really understand it fully. I have listened to quite a lot of podcasts on it. I have watched a few documentaries on it. I do have my own opinion, and that is that I think if you're doing it for the rights of animals, then fair play.
Yeah, then obviously.
However, if you're doing it for performance, I think maybe you have the wrong idea.
Yeah, agreed.
For me, it's a balance. You need greens and you need meats for me.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal view and how I see it and how I like to play it up. But yeah.
That's it. It always boils back to that calorie deficit point.
It does. So guys, just to wrap up now, right? We're coming towards the end of the podcast. I just want to go over a few points that we talked about.
Yeah.
That we just want to reaffirm with you guys. First of all, thanks for listening. Really appreciate you guys stopping by. Yeah.
And make sure you hit that follow button, subscribe button, whatever you're. If you're
Subscribe.
listening to Spotify, if you're listening to iTunes, hit the follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that big red button.
The big red one, is it in that corner?
It's that
I don't
corner.
know. Is it in that corner?
It's that one over there.
Oh, it's that corner.
No, it's down that one.
No, this one.
It's down that one.
Here.
Yeah, there.
Here.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, there.
I'll do like one of them gifs. Like. If you can't see it, and you listen to the podcast, I'm just swinging my hand around like a madman.
Like a madman thing.
Like a madman thing. Yeah. So just if you're going to take anything away from this podcast, then just remember there's only one thing that reduces your body fat, and that's being in a calorie deficit. You don't have to kill yourself to do it.
Yep.
You can maintain a steady state of reducing your body fat whilst not killing yourself, and just give yourself time. Don't be too harsh on yourself.
Yeah. Patience.
Patience. Like I said, if you do something consistently over the next 4 to 8 weeks, you will notice a big change in yourself. So don't. Obviously take it seriously, but don't put too much stress and pressure on yourself.
You just don't have to go crazy, do you?
Exactly. If you got any questions, guys, hit up in the comments here or reach out to us
get in the
on
comments.
Instagram at Alex Dick Cleland. Oh no, sorry, Fit Cleland.
Yeah.
Lol. At Nick Braitch. And thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening. We will see you in the next one.
Ciao.
Auf Wiedersehen.